Meanwhile, some good news. You've heard all the police abuse stories. We've showed videos. There's a lot of cops who are out of their jurisdiction, out of bounds on a complete power trip. But there's still some cops who care, and this man from the new NYPD force was profiled after he was pictured supposedly randomly buying and giving boots to a homeless man who literally had no shoes as the weather started to get rather freezing in New York. He asked the man his size and went into a store, bought him boots, and then brought him back to him. And that was Officer Larry DePrimo. That's all detailed in Adon Salazar's article at Infowars.com. It was spread around on the web besides that otherwise, and it helped the NYPD's public image. It increased their Facebook memberships many-fold because people are tired of seeing these abusive, out-of-control, wannabe tyrant cops. They want to see cops who still remember that they're servants, public officials, and that they're supposed to be helping the public, not harming them. But that kind of hero cop is one type of cop. The kind of hero cop I really want to encourage, that I want to call out and salute, is the First Amendment cop who has now become an internet icon. We've had Jason Bermas on and the others who've done these TSA protests throughout the week. We covered this the last couple days. Now it's been picked up in the Albany media about the sheriff's deputy at the Albany Airport, Deputy Lenic, who told Doug Meyer, who was running the Albany Airport, tried to imply that Jason Bermas and Ashley Jessica were blocking escalators and somehow preventing travelers when nothing of the sort was going on. It was a pretty blatant intimidation attempt from those airport officials. And you've got the sheriff's deputy who told him to back off, told him his job is to uphold the Constitution, that these people handing out flyers and filming were doing nothing wrong, nothing illegal. And now he's not only been recognized for that by the Albany news outlet, Channel 13, he's also received a commendation from his department, and that department has had a flood of positive responses, great emails thanking him for upholding the Constitution, for recognizing the First Amendment and free speech rights of these critics of the TSA, Jason Bermas, who of course produced several films here at Infowars.com. And so we just want to commend Sheriff's Deputy Stan Lenic and encourage all law enforcement officers out there, whether you're police department, sheriff's department, or some other outfit, you uphold the Constitution, too. You stand up for someone's freedom of speech, and we'll salute you right here at InfoWars every time, at least, that we hear about it. Meanwhile, medical tyranny is here, and we can't say we weren't warned. That's Daniel Taylor of Old Thinker News, also published at Infowars.com today, and he profiles Benjamin Rush, who warned back in 1787 that we better put protection for medical freedom in the Constitution, even though it is already implied by life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as well as a number of other provisions in the Constitution. The very spirit of it is that you should have your own control over your own life, especially when it only affects your own body. And yet, look how captured we've become today under the current medical system, under the way they've forced people into expensive chemotherapy treatments that debatably don't work, into all these pharmaceutical prescription drugs that only make profits for the big pharma giants but don't usually help people. They just suck out money, and everything else that's wrong with this medical system. Well, look at the words of Benjamin Rush back in 1787, one of our greatest founding fathers. The Constitution of this republic should make special provision for medical freedom. To restrict the art of healing to one class will constitute the Bastille of medical science. All such laws are un-American and despotic. Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize into an undercover dictatorship and force people who wish doctors and treatment of their own choice to submit to only what the dictating outfit offers. And that's what we're getting under Obamacare. They're trying to put in that socialized health care everywhere else in the world. You've got people like the World Health Organization in bed with the United Nations trying to implement universal health care everywhere. And again, it's ration treatment. You only see the doctors they want. You only get the kind of treatments they want. Treatments that, again, are provided by the Rockefeller Foundation, by big pharma outfits. And if you study the history of Rockefeller, Carnegie, Harriman, all these big foundations going back to the turn of the 20th century, they changed this medical system. They infiltrated universities, put in their professors, their mentality, changed the way medicine and science were studied, and just did away with as much natural cure as they could in favor favor of big-time interventionist, profit-driven motives, and it's just destroying people. And then Dan Taylor details some of the cases where when you refuse chemotherapy for your 8-year-old because you're pursuing natural medicine, or that you don't want to vaccinate your child, CPS comes, or the mother's arrested, or other forms of intimidation come down the line.